Hello, my little dreamers. So, I thought I would address some concerns that some people have been showing about my son joining the military. So, as some of you may or may not know, Stuart is 17 years old and he is recently signed up for and passed all the assessments to join the army in the UK for combat infantry soldier. And he is going to England on the 14th of February for 23 weeks. He's coming back on August the 27th and he's going to the Combat Infantry Training Centre in Catterick. He'll be based there, do all his training, and everything is taken care of. He is so excited, and as his mum, I'm just so thrilled for him. It's something he's always wanted to do. Since he was 3 years old, he was in gymnastics. He'd done that for years until he got an injury in his leg. He actually won Gymnast of the Year in 2013 in East Kilbride, and he's always been very fit, very active, and alongside that he's also been so interested in the great outdoors. He goes camping and fishing a lot with his dad and visiting all these places in the middle of nowhere. He also went to a shooting club with his dad. Hunting is quite popular in Scotland. I don't care if you disagree with that or not, it's not really up for discussion here, that's not the point. But he's done all these things and he's pretty much like a mini Bear Grylls, and he's always had an interest in joining the army when he got to the age of 17. He turned 17 in November and it was one of the first things that he done was apply for the army. So I've had concerns, not me personally, but it seems that every time I tell somebody that my son has signed up for the army, the first response and the most common response that I get is,
"How do you feel about that?
or,
Are you okay?
or,
Why are you letting your son join the army?"
First of all,
he's 17 years old. It's not my place, my responsibility, or my right as his mother to tell him what he can and can't do in a career or profession. Now, obviously, there is an instant concern. Army means war, means fighting, means people getting blown up and their heads shot off. Yes, I'm not completely thick, I'm not delusional, and neither is he. We understand what the army entails. We know that it pretty much means that if there's a war going on, he will be the one in the front with a gun. Now, do I like that? Do I like the fact that it's my son that will be in that position? Of course not! Are you crazy? I'm a mother. My son is my world. He's my main man, my wee dude. I love him to pieces. If it's just a question of, do I want my son to be someone that would be on the front line, standing on a landmine and getting blown up? No! But that's not the question. Because when you look at big pictures and the world and not be selfish and think about your own things that you want to think about, when you realise that first of all, the most important thing you can do as a mother is support your children no matter what they want to do. Now obviously if it was going to be a murderer or a drug runner, then I'm going to have some problems with that, because you know you have to make sure that your children do good in the world and try and steer them away from negative and bad things. I understand that, but he's chose a career that I think is very beneficial. He will learn so much. He is going to acquire new skills. He'll get an education better than he did in the school that he went to, where it was just a shambles. He will get to explore and travel the world. What is the other options for him in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of a lockdown, sit on his backside, can't find employment, isn't entitled to any help from the government, and most of his friends are just sitting around drinking alcohol and doing things they shouldn't be doing? I personally think that the army is a great career choice for him. So that's taking care of the career aspect, and it's taking care of the being his mum aspect. Now, in sense of just wanting your child to do good and supporting them in what they want to do, and the fact that at the end of the day, if there's going to be a war at some point and someone has to be on the front line, someone has to do it. Somebody's son, somebody's child or daughter or mother or father, someone has to be the person that says that if a threat comes to you, somebody has to stand up and say, I'm not going to allow this threat to threaten my life or my country or my family or my friends. Someone has to be that person. So could I be selfish and say, I don't want my son to be that person? I could. I could live in fear. I could live in anxiety. But at the same time, I've raised a son that is willing to put everything he cares about to the side. He's willing to leave us, his family, who he loves dearly, to protect us, to make sure that threats don't come to my door. He is willing to be that person that whilst you sleep in your bed at night, he'll be the one putting his life at risk to make sure that you stay safe. As a mum, I could not be any prouder. So to address the concerns of why are you letting your son do this and are you scared? The overall feeling that I have in my heart isn't fear, isn't anxiety, isn't dread that he's going to be killed off and have his legs blown off or get held captive. None of that. The biggest thing I have in my heart is that I know that my son is a good, kind person, unselfish and willing to give up everything in order to help our world that we live in stay safe. Because the threats will always come. This world is not without threats. And he wants to be the one to stand up on the front line and protect us all. I could not be more proud as a mum that my son is that type of person. And I've got a daughter, Abby, who will live her own life and she'll do things and discover things. She wants to be an artist or she wants to be involved in theatre. Her dream is to go to Broadway. She sings, she dances. She's got a whole world in front of her as well, and I'm so excited, and I just hope and pray that I've done a good enough job with both my children that they will find success in whatever they choose to do. And I will be the first person, as long as I'm on this earth, to stand and support them and cheer them on and wish them all the best. I love my kids so much. I wouldn't be me without them. And so this video might be a bit aggressive to start with, but I'm going to end it on a good note. Anybody that says I'm a bad mum or thinks that Stuart's crazy for going to the army can just suck it, because I love my little family and I'm so proud of them, and I wouldn't change them for the whole wide world no matter what they do. So yeah, don't be concerned for us, we are just absolutely fine. Bye.